Hey, what's up, guys? Here on another episode of Eli and Mike podcast show. We have an amazing guest who drove very far to get here to us, and we feel a little bit special. Thank you for being here. And this is Reid. How are you today?
I am always good. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you being here.
So excited for this podcast. Thank you so much. And we know that you brought your son as well.
Yes, Colt's
so-
out there, and I got to tell you, it's fun watching this guy
Yes.
become a whippersnapper. I know we're going to jump right in, but
Yeah,
I got to
let's
tell a
do
quick
this.
little story.
Of course.
I was doing a podcast recently, and they said something that changed our paradigm of our relationship. They said, you give your kid money to do stuff he does not like to do around the house,
Right.
like, mow the lawn, make the bed. I said, absolutely. I'm going to teach my son the power and respect of money.
Right.
And they said, that's too bad. You're ruining your child forever.
Really?
Oh,
And
wow.
Students' mindset, it said, teach me.
Right.
And they said, think
Same.
about it. You're training your child from the earliest of memory. The only way to get paid money is to do something they don't like.
Wow.
So I sat him
Wow.
down and said, man, you do these great videos. And I got a lot of TikTok followers and Instagram.
Mhm.
From now on, you work your strengths. I'll pay your allowance for doing that. And how about you make the bed for living in the state that you do?
Oh
Yeah.
my
And we called it
gosh.
contribution. We
Yeah.
changed the paradigm.
Yes.
So now when the new shoes come out, he comes up and says, hey, Dad, how many TikToks you need for the new kicks, right? But it
Mhm.
changed our conversation.
I love
Wow,
that.
that's amazing. We just started our podcast and already dropping gold nuggets. This is amazing. We have
Yeah.
2 children as well, and we also at one point were doing what you were doing, dishes and all that,
Right.
paying them for that. But at one point we did break and we're like, well, what do you like to do? Video games. Okay, you love video games. How about we set up a video game room for you, but you have, actually we never put in the fact that you're gonna work for it. So I really love that. That just teaches me a lesson right now.
And
Oh,
remember
absolutely.
this, what's common sense to you
Mhm.
is genius to someone else. So for example, Colt is really good at playing this game called Fortnite. All
Yes,
the kids are going
right,
nuts on
right.
it.
Yes,
But guess
exactly.
what? There's other kids in the neighborhood, they'll pay $20 to sit in a chair right next to him to
Mhm.
watch him play.
Yes.
Why? Because he knows the tricks and techniques that
Right.
they can glean from.
Wow.
Yes.
So remember this, no matter what we're doing in life, what's common sense to us is genius to somebody else.
No,
That's
absolutely.
amazing.
And
That's
is
amazing.
Colt your only son, or?
He is my only kid
Okay, got
there
it.
you
that
go.
I know
Love
of.
it. Right. Okay.
That
love
stays
it,
in the
love it.
podcast.
And we want to know so much more about you. So one of your big things that you do is publishing books.
Mhm.
Can you talk to us about that? How many have you done? I want the audience to know.
Well, first of all, if I had hair, that'd be my look. gonna tell
Okay,
you right
there
now.
you go.
I wish I had that.
How about we
Oh
edit
my-
that?
I know. I wish I had that
Edit
look
it
right
and
there.
put it in here.
I like it. So I've been very fortunate. I've been published in 150 books right now.
Wow.
45 languages. I have a star
Oh
on the
my
Walk of
gosh.
Fame in Vegas,
Wow.
even honorary PhDs. Yet I'm dyslexic, can't spell, can't read, can't write. If you play me Words with Friends, you'll win every time.
Okay.
my
And I
gosh.
understand
Wow.
the power. You work your strengths
Got it.
and you hire your weaknesses.
Just like you
So,
said in the beginning.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
full of hot air, we'll call it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So I will sit down with my ghostwriters and say, a boy wants a bike. He gets off his butt. He mows lawn, makes money, buys a bike. They
Mhm.
recraft it and it comes back and says, it was a glorious Sunday afternoon when a young bright-eyed lad caught the entrepreneurial dream as he went outside, right? They work their strengths.
Right.
Of course.
And by doing that, we've gone on to inspire the lives of millions of people around the globe. And now I'm making the same people who have helped me do all my books available to people just like you.
That's fantastic.
Wow,
So how do you
wow.
spread the word? I believe you're doing some mentorships or public speaking, helping the teens in some way. How
The
do you
youth?
reach out? What's the process for that?
Well, to everybody now. So my
Okay.
original name was called the Millionaire Mentor.
Okay.
Not because I mentor millionaires, but I work
Mhm.
with inner city kids in San Diego.
Right.
Love
I
it.
happen to be successful, drive up in a nice car. because
Okay.
They'd say, here comes my
Mhm.
millionaire mentor.
Okay.
There
Love
you
it.
go.
Love
Became kind of a badge of
Mhm.
honors and I stuck. So that was the
Of
whole
course,
idea.
right, of course.
But now I realize that so many people have got these golden wisdoms, good, bad, challenging, all the things we've gone through. Somebody else could learn from those things.
Right.
Oh, yes.
So I'm now allowing and giving access to regular people like you and I,
Okay.
where they can sit down with my ghostwriters. They pull those stories out, they put it in literary form to
Mm,
potentially inspire the lives of many.
there you
That's
go.
fabulous.
Wow.
What instilled you to do that? So not many of us. Obviously, you're slightly older than me, just slightly. Trust me, I can.
I
grow
just
the
turned
gray.
61.
No way. Oh my
Well, I
god.
still think it's
Slightly, right?
yeah. Yeah.
But that gives you
Oh
a
my
lot
God.
of background. You have your ups, your downs. What's created this passion for you to want to teach people a way to be better for themselves?
I think because I was very fortunate. I've
Mhm.
had great mentors
Mhm.
in my life. Now, remember, a good mentor will tell you what you need to hear and not always what you want to hear.
Mhm.
And my mentors never say anything nice. So, they're good, right?
Okay,
They're very
okay.
direct. I like that.
Exactly.
Right,
They'll sit you
right,
down and tell you
right.
exactly what you need to
Love
know.
this.
But by giving you that guidance,
Mhm.
it gives you the information to go forward. And when I wanted to
Right.
be a public speaker, I had this mentor. His name's Les Brown. He's a motivational legend.
Yes.
We
Oh,
love
amazing
him.
guy,
We
right?
love
Love
him.
him,
And I
love him.
remember I was doing a stage presentation, and I thought I killed it.
Okay.
Standing ovation.
Mhm.
And I walked off stage. I was like, all right, all right, all right. I walk off stage, and he grabbed me by the chest, and he pulled me in. And he goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "What are you talking about? I got a standing ovation." He
Yeah.
goes, No. You just dismissed them. I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You just told them it was not important, and you waved them off. Let me show you how a pro does it." He walked out. He gave a real presentation. I'm going to tell you right now.
Oh,
He
wow.
knocked this. It was incredible, right? At the
Uh-huh.
end, they're screaming on their feet. And you know what he
Mhm.
did? He stood there and he took his hands, kind of like the Allstate agent, and he went, "Thank you." And he turned over here and said,
Ah,
"Thank you." And he crossed his heart and said, "Thank you."
wow.
And he goes, "That's how you do it."
Mm.
He said, "That applause is not meant for you. It's meant to instill into the people that you just touched their lives, to let them know and put that in like cement into their souls,
Mhm.
that they have a gratitude, and more importantly, that the feedback they're giving you is because that's how much you impacted them."
Wow.
Interesting,
That
right?
is It's so powerful. I already just learned
Yeah, because
so many
I
lessons.
feel like many of us can look at it as, oh, okay, yeah, right. Like you're thinking you're all cool because you're up there and accepting the applause, but in reality, it's you're giving back to them by feeding into that energy they're feeding.
You're
you.
doing it for them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Because they're going, "Oh my God, you just hit him in my life," right?
yeah,
And then all of a sudden you go, "Sit down, don't. It's not important."
We're good.
Right.
Wait a second. That's a disconnect.
I see
Mm,
that.
Here's
wow.
another thing he taught me. I wish I had. You have a pen
Fantastic.
over there? Grab me a pen. I'm going to
Fantastic.
show you something.
Yes, yes.
This is one of the greatest lessons.
Okay,
When I
love
wanted to
it, love
become
it.
a speaker,
Yes.
I said, "Give me one lesson, just one thing that I
Mhm.
could do different in my career that would be, beneficial to other
Mhm,
people." And here's what he
mhm.
taught me. Thank
Okay,
you very
we're
much.
about to learn something real amazing.
Well, this is so simple.
Okay.
He says most people that are brand new, they hold a microphone like a rap artist.
Okay.
What do you mean? He says they hold it at the end of it and they go like this.
That's
They
right.
cover their mouth and they
Mhm.
sit and talk to the audience.
That's right.
He goes, "That's insecurity." He goes, "Here's what you do." He says, "Hold it at the very end. Hold it out here so people can still see you and connect. You're using the microphone, but all of a
Wow.
sudden you're connecting with your audience."
Got
So
it.
look at every photograph of myself or with Les Brown now.
Mhm.
You'll always notice they're holding the mic at the end.
I just connected
Okay.
with you, and it wasn't even a mic. and
Isn't
you
that
still made me
interesting?
connect
Yeah.
with you. I was like,
I
oh
think
my
I'm gonna
god.
start doing that now.
No, yeah,
I don't know
you.
how to
I'm
microphone
literally
like
gonna
that.
do that every time we're on stage or anywhere from now on. That's
Yeah.
amazing. I even want this to be on the side a little bit right now.
No,
But
hold the
wow.
microphone right.
If we can go stay on that. So your mentors, when did you actually get your first mentor? When did all this start? Were you as at a young age?
Yeah, I've had many mentors. And understand this, there's a difference
Mhm.
between a coach and a mentor.
Right.
And we
Mhm.
should have multiple in all
Mhm.
aspects. So a
Yes.
mentor is someone that doesn't get paid. They're an
Mhm.
older, wise sage that have
Mhm.
already walked the path.
Mhm.
Mhm.
A coach is someone you pay to kick you in the tail.
Right.
So a
Wow.
mentor might say, "Hey, you need to lose some weight," which I
Mhm.
appreciate, but then I
Mhm.
hire a coach to wake me up in the morning and get me to the gym. Two
Wow.
different people.
Totally different.
And we have to have multiple coaches and teachers. I'll give you an example. I
Mhm.
got a great tennis coach. He teaches me my backhand, but I'm not going to ask him about financial literacy.
Of course.
And I'm not going to ask my accountant about
Mhm.
public speaking.
Mhm.
So I find the people that excel in any
Mhm.
chosen field that I want to grow myself. I ask that person for guidance.
Fantastic.
Wow. Okay. And nowadays, I feel, and what is your take on this? A lot of people nowadays, they call themselves a mentor, and they're getting paid high ticket prices to be people's mentor. But you just changed my mindset on what you said, because I think the same way as you. If I ever have knowledge, I've been in real estate for 10 years. If I could, that's to me, a wise agent at least. If I could give some type of, help to someone, and it's just something like I'm helping them, it's not going to be charged. But nowadays, I feel that everyone calls themselves a mentor and makes people pay the money when they're not supposed to be. What is your take on that nowadays?
I think it's fake. I just
Mhm,
told you.
mhm,
Yeah,
mhm,
pretty
mhm.
simple stuff.
Yeah.
So a mentor should be an older, wiser sage, somebody
Right.
who's already walked the path
Mhm,
to say, "Watch out for that hole
mhm.
so you don't
Yes,
step into
yes,
it."
yes,
But then you
yes.
hire a coach to kick you in the tail to
That's
make
what
sure
you're
you're on
paying
track.
for.
It's pretty simple stuff. It's cut and
Oh
dry.
my God. Yeah, no,
like
it
that.
definitely is. It changes my whole mindset. Not everybody in this, last few years, I feel takes it that way.
Well, think about it. The greatest tidbits of information, I guarantee, came from someone you didn't pay.
Mhm.
It came from an
Mhm.
actual sage.
Right.
It came from somebody who
Yes.
said, "Hey, keep your
Yes.
eye out for this."
Right.
That's a true mentor.
Love
Next
it.
question.
Love
So,
it. Love it.
let's go
love it.
backwards. You brought up the fact that you have a star in Vegas.
Mhm.
What's that all about?
Well, it's like the Hollywood Walk of Fame in Las Vegas, right on the strip.
Okay.
So I am right across from the Bellagio in front of the Paris Hotel. You stand
Okay.
on it. You can watch the water show.
Wow.
I'm 6 from Elvis Presley. Go figure, right? For a guy who's a famous
Wow.
author who can't spell, read, and write. So the whole idea is all things are possible.
Wow.
If you surround yourself with people, again, that are getting the results you want. And here's the tit. Are you guys ready for this one?
Yes.
This is the whole tidbit that changes everything. Surround ourselves with people we have respect for
Mhm.
and not people we have influence over.
Mm.
I'll say it again. Surround ourselves with people we have respect for and not people we have influence over. Ask those people for guidance. Your life will never be the same.
Mhm.
Fantastic. So you earned it by doing doing books. Okay,
Mhm.
perfect.
Again, 150 books, 45
Right.
languages,
Yes.
all this good stuff. And
Mhm.
was really, really neat. There's a book written 100 years ago called
Okay.
Think and Grow Rich.
Mhm.
It's a guy named Napoleon Hill.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, in 1908, he was given a letter by a guy named Carnegie to go meet all of his friends. 100 years later to the date, the Napoleon Hill surviving family and the foundation gave me the very similar letter.
Oh,
And
my
I have a Willy
gosh.
Wonka ticket to meet any human alive.
Wow.
No
So I write the
way.
Think and Grow Rich series through the Napoleon Hill
Wow.
Foundation.
Oh my god.
So, for example, Bob Proctor and
Incredible.
I wrote a book together called Think and Grow Rich, Thoughts Are Things, where your thoughts become your realities by
Yes.
the actions in which we take.
Yes.
Sharon Lecter, who wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad with
Mhm.
Kiyosaki, and I together wrote Think and Grow Rich, 3 Feet from Gold, which sold a gajillion copies worldwide.
Of course.
And it was very interesting when you go on the journey to meet these amazing people. A lot of folks don't understand the gold wisdom and gems that literally fall into your lap.
Mhm.
And many receive great advice, but not everyone profits from it. And so the people that succeed and do the most with it are those that not only glean it, but they
Mhm.
apply it.
Mhm. Mhm.
But
Wow.
with your expertise, you have a lot of abundant of
Amazing.
information. What do you feel is the biggest reason why people just can't seem to push through, especially with whether they come up with an excuse, maybe it's marital issues, maybe it's financial issues. What makes you believe, or what are your beliefs in the fact that some people just don't do more when they know they should?
Well, first of all, I'm not a psychologist. I'm a regular guy, but
Of
I will
course.
say this is that we are where we choose to be.
Mhm.
There's an old bumper sticker that says, where could you be tomorrow if you put your ideas into actions today, right? Or
Mhm,
type of
right.
a thing. I can tell everything I need to know about you by the circumstance in which you're in. If you sit there and say, I want a Lamborghini, but don't have a Lamborghini, it means you are not willing to do what was necessary to have a Lamborghini. That's
Mhm.
just the bottom line.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
you can say all the words and complain and gripe and moan, but to complain about something that you have direct control over is ridiculous.
Right.
I love that.
Do you ever have a time where you were in a dark position where you felt like, okay, I don't want to get out of bed, I don't want to do this? And how did you pull yourself out of it if you had a moment like that?
I really never have had those
Mhm.
bottoms. For
Mhm,
some
mhm.
reason, I'm one of the crazy people. I wrote a book called The Secret of Happiness.
Mhm.
I believe, like Abraham Lincoln has a quote that says, "We are, a reflection, obviously, of the people we hang around, but we're also as happy as we choose to be."
Mhm.
And for me, I think that speaks volumes.
Wow.
So I choose to be happy with something
Yes.
called always good. Here's what it works.
Wow.
Mhm,
I was going through a cashier checkout in a grocery store, and the gal kept asking people, "How you doing? How you doing?" She
Mhm.
didn't care. She's just doing her job.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And people would say the same thing: fair, fine, fair to middling. Guy in front of me said a double negative, not bad. I said, "Holy smokes, it's getting my turn. I got to come up with the double positive."
Okay.
Gets to me and she goes, "How you doing?" I said, "Always good." And she says, "How can someone always be good?"
Mhm,
And I
mhm.
said that line by Abraham
Mhm.
Lincoln: people are as happy as they make up their minds to be. And if
Wow.
you surround yourself with positive, solution searching people and only get that information and that energy, life will never be the same.
That's powerful.
Amazing,
A lot of us
amazing.
are we get stuck with very negative people because we feel like we're obligated to be around and surrounded by people that criticize you.
Mhm.
But I think there's a difference between being criticized versus being given certain understandings of a different perspective.
Yep.
So I feel like it's one of the circles of life that a lot of people have a hard time coming around. I'm 40. Well, I'm going to be 46. So I feel like I've been through a lot of my failures. And sometimes, and then recently I started changing my circles, Mike as well.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
I can understand your language because I feel like you fail to learn and you grow from it if you choose to, because it is my choice.
Mhm.
So I appreciate that feedback because a lot of people that watch these podcasts, they research this, they try to find a better way to live their life. and you're helping people, you're helping teens, and obviously more because you're expanding that now. And you have this event called Door Knock.
Secret Knock.
Secret Knock, sorry. So you have this event called Secret
Right.
Knock. Explain to us about that. What is that all about?
Well, when I did 3 Feet from Gold, I invited over 300 people to go with me to meet the guy who started NASCAR.
Okay.
Chick-fil-A, Miss
Oh,
America.
wow. Oh, my God.
Everyone. And no
Okay.
one came. Everyone had an excuse.
Really?
It's called the bad case of the one size.
Okay.
I might take action once I get that kids out, once I get the big break.
Mhm.
And I realized it was driving me nuts personally because I'm going, why don't you understand what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so what happened is after that became, a great phenomenon, that
Right.
book, people said, how do I meet your friends? So I started an
Mhm.
event in my living room.
Okay.
They said, do you need a ticket? And I go, no, just do the secret knock. Bump it, bump, bump. That was it.
No
They
way.
went and told
Wait, did you
people-
just give us the secret knock?
That's it.
Oh my God.
And it went on and went on. And now we're 18 years, standing room only, sold out every
Wow.
single time.
Oh my God.
And what's crazy about it is it costs $5,000 to go, and we will not tell you where it is, who will be there, nothing. All we do is tell you the city, state, and date, and that's it. And then we
Fabulous.
leak the location as we get near.
Oh my
That's
God,
amazing.
This is amazing.
That's so much passion and so much stuff that's in that. So I can't even imagine what it all looks like. I've been on your website. I've obviously researched a few things, but it looks like you have such amazing people speaking at these events, and I'm sure everybody walks away with.
And everyone's normal. That's the whole thing. We
Mhm.
don't invite anyone with ego. So the whole idea is our only rule is be cool. What does
Okay.
that mean? If water runs out on your table, don't complain. Go get water. Bring it back to the table. They're thirsty too. Be normal.
Right.
Got it.
Right.
No name tags allowed. No
Mhm.
business cards allowed.
Mhm.
Be normal.
Love that.
Amazing.
So if you're sitting next to
Amazing.
someone and say, I'm looking for a dog groomer, say,
Mhm.
hey, I happen to know someone, and give them your contact. That's it.
Right.
And you'll never know who you're sitting next to until you reach
Wow.
across the aisle.
Oh my
It's called
gosh.
TTE, talk to everyone. Everyone you meet will know something you don't know.
This is
There
so
you go.
amazing. Oh my gosh. And do you involve your son in the secret knocks?
Of course, he's one of the
Amazing.
speakers there, and
Love
he
it.
always does everything, which is pretty
Oh my
neat.
gosh.
He'll
Yes.
take over the family business.
Okay, there you go. Love it, love it. Speaking of family, can you tell us a little bit of your upbringing? Are you an only child as well? How were your parents in regards to you? Having this mindset that you have. Were they supportive? How was it your upbringing?
Well, everyone's got a different one. I don't have a rags or riches story like all these
Okay,
people. I was
okay.
born in the mean streets
Mhm.
of Del Mar, California. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I always say I'm in therapy because one time the gardener couldn't show and my dad made me pull the weeds. I don't have,
Okay.
I don't have those stories.
Got
It
it.
just was a pretty decent life growing up.
Mhm, mhm.
And so I don't, again, I think one of the biggest challenges is people have almost survivor guilt nowadays,
Mm.
especially this
Mhm,
generation, because they
mhm.
didn't go through the suffering.
Of course.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, though, we are where we're at
Mhm.
because of the sacrifices that people did before it. We
Mhm.
should honor those people by making the most of it.
Yes, definitely.
Great
definitely.
advice.
Yeah, I love that.
I also heard you got a United Nations award. How did you earn that? What did you do?
Right.
Well, it was called the Novus Summit. They did an event at the United Nations on the General
Okay.
Assembly floor, and they gave me I don't know, it was entrepreneur or some type of award. But it was really cool. I mean, standing at that microphone that the popes and all
Wow.
the
I mean,
presidents
yeah, that's-
and
oh
everyone
my
saw
God.
that. It was fun.
Wow.
I'll never forget. I was looking out there going, now, this is pretty darn surreal.
Okay.
I got to speak at the United Nations. There, I got to speak at the Pentagon to all the generals. I got to travel the world and meet these
Mhm.
amazing people.
Mhm.
And I feel very blessed and honored, to say the least. And it all comes down to one simple message. Okay. We can do anything and everything as long as we surround ourselves with people that are already getting the results that we want for ourselves.
Mhm.
That's it. When I wanted to become an author, a best-selling author, I went to the bookstore. I bought every best-selling book. I asked that person for guidance. I duplicated it.
Wow.
When I wanted to make movies, I sat down with people that won Oscars and owned network and said, what's the secret? They taught me. I duplicated and did it.
Mhm.
By the way, the biggest aha in Hollywood, you guys are
Mhm.
up here in this thing.
Yes.
I learned right down the street. I mean, literally across the street here in
Mhm.
Cannon.
Mhm.
I sat down with a guy who started a TV network called Showtime Television.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I said, what is this
Wow.
Hollywood stuff? I go, I feel like I'm getting nowhere. I spent
Mhm.
5 years making this movie. I'm getting all this feedback, but I'm not getting anywhere. And he said, here's the code. Are you ready for it? He says, in Hollywood, a yes is a no.
Mhm.
A no is a no. A maybe is all you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I said, what do you mean? He says, when you come up to Hollywood, they're going to go, yeah, baby, we're going to make you a star. We're going to give you 14 minutes. He goes, that's just no. That's our easy way of saying no.
Yeah.
A no is a no. But when someone says, hey, that kind of makes sense. Let's set up a meeting with the studio. I got some figureheads to break. That's it.
That's all you
So as soon as I started coming up this way and only look for maybes, that's 7 months later, made our film. And we're actually on the ballot for the Oscars.
Oh
Wow,
my
that's
God.
fabulous.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes,
That
you're
is
getting
great.
this. Oh my God.
So we need
Loves
to get
it.
some more maybes, Mike.
Yeah,
Maybes.
maybes.
Well,
Well,
Maybe
how
it's
many
for
times
you.
you get yeses and they don't?
Yeah, we've got,
Yes,
we've got,
yes,
we've got
yeah,
plenty.
the answer is
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
But we do
right.
have some maybes right now in the basket, right?
Okay, we do.
Yeah,
We have some maybes. Yeah, I
Maybes
love
are
that.
good.
That-
Right,
that's really
right.
good.
Love it, love it. And the secret knocks this year. Are you excited for the speakers?
I can't tell you anything.
Oh,
So
I'm
I
trying to
appreciate
get-
you going that rabbit hole. I'm out.
What about the past? Do you have like a speaker that you were just like, wow?
Yeah, I mean, we've had private Skype with Edward Snowden while he's hiding in
my
Russia, so we get to hear
gosh, no
his side of the
way.
story. Last time we brought in Carol Baskin to tell us her side of the story. She didn't kill her
my
husband.
gosh. Wow.
We've had amazing. We just brought in the most sentient being robot, Amica, to tell us that she's not here to kill humanity. We've brought in
Oh my
astronauts that have
God.
walked in space, to Oscar winners, to everyone across the board. And what's really interesting is people are just people. And
Mhm,
majority of them have this thing, it's called, imposter syndrome, where they feel, why me? How did I get this lucky?
Mhm.
And the difference is that they took action to have that luck.
Mhm.
It is the action in the law of attraction
Yes.
that makes our dreams a reality.
Of
Yes.
course.
Think it, feel it, get off your
Mhm,
backside, take
mhm,
action, and you got to
mhm,
do it.
Yes.
Fabulous advice.
Yes.
I mean, we run and operate a couple different businesses. We have our mortgage, we have real estate, we even do some influencing on different channels. So we do a lot of action, but at the same time, we're also those that want results very fast. So what do you say to people like us and other people that are watching that have a business, they're operating, they're doing the best they can, but one point or the other, they get very impatient. They want results now. Either has that happened to you, or what do you think people should do when things are just not moving fast enough?
Well, usually it's us hindering our
Mhm.
stuff. We're getting in our own way.
Mhm.
That means that we're not
Mhm.
hiring the very best people, because if we're spending our time telling our staff what they need to be doing, then they're not the right staff.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
I'm going to say that again, right?
Okay.
If we're
No.
spending our time telling our staff what to do, then we're not hiring the right staff.
Got it.
And that's usually what's hindering our stuff.
Mhm.
We need to find people that are experts in their chosen field, so
Right.
they're telling us what we need to be doing
Right.
so they can get the greatest results.
But
Wow.
ultimately, it's ourselves.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Greg, so being that you're in
Yes.
your 20s, so what is the
Yes.
next big
And good looking.
yes,
Yes,
and very
yes.
good looking. What is the next big thing for you? Is there one, or do you feel like you've
Right.
already got
Oh my
to where
gosh.
you need to be?
I think it's what's coming next. I'm really focusing on doing another couple movies I'm
Okay.
very excited about.
Mhm, mhm.
But again, it's just more of it's
Mhm.
the same. I'm now more excited, I think, of helping other people publish their books and getting their message out
Mhm.
than anything else.
Mhm,
Wow.
mhm.
Because I'm so blessed and honored that people have come and help me take my stories and share them with the world. And if I can do that for other folks, I think that will give me the greatest enjoyment. The fact of the matter is, somebody getting a $2 an hour raise at work might give you a little bit of inspiration, but watching your kid graduate college, it'll fill your heart. And I'm to the
Mhm.
point now, I want to see
Mhm.
other people succeed.
Amazing. Love that. I know we're running out of time, but one thing that I want to question you on is if you can give the audience 3 laws that they could really focus on. I know law of attraction should be one of them, but maybe you could tell us 3, because I think that some people get confused when they use the law of attraction and they believe, well, I'm using the law of attraction. How come things aren't happening? I'm doing everything the law of attraction tells me, but I believe people get lost because it's not only the law of attraction. There's other laws that go with that law to make, things happen. And if you can give just a little bit of insight on that.
Yes. First, I'm going to give you my greatest tips. I'll give them to you right
Please,
now. These are the
please.
golden
Thank
nuggets,
you.
okay?
Okay.
Successful people seek counsel, and failures listen to opinion. What's the difference? Opinions based on ignorance, lack of knowledge, or inexperience, like all your family friends who've never done what you're about to venture upon. Counsels based on wisdom, knowledge, mentorship, people have paved the way. If you go to a family friend and say, I'm going to get into the real estate industry, they're going to try to talk you out of it to protect you, to keep you safe. Plus, guess what? They're not in the real estate industry. If you go seek counsel from these amazing gentlemen and say, hey, I want to get in the same business, what should I do? They're going to say, sit down. Here's what you need to know, and give you counsel based on wisdom, knowledge, mentorship.
Mhm.
If we would spend our activity only seeking counsel and ignoring people's opinion, that's the day your life will change.
Wow.
That is great advice.
Wow.
I think a lot of people are stuck in opinions.
Amazing.
I almost feel like we enjoy hearing very negative comments from people. Like I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, I have this perspective where I feel like we're naturally born with negative opinions. Like we want to say something bad unintentionally. You too?
No.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
I'm gonna say we all do, and I'm gonna have the answer for this.
Okay, perfect.
Because when Bob Proctor and I wrote the book Thoughts Are Things,
Mhm.
we start out this journey going, God, this is gonna be the easiest book in the world. Your thoughts become your realities. That's simple.
Yes.
Baloney.
Okay, good.
Thoughts are not things.
Got it.
Thoughts backed by action become things.
Mhm.
If thoughts were things, I'd be a slice of pizza right now because I'm hungry. Right?
Okay.
My
yes.
thoughts become reality by when I leave here and I stop by Felipe's and get a
Right.
slice of pizza.
Yes.
My actions become my
Right.
truth.
There
Does
you
that
go.
make sense?
Yes,
Makes
it
sense.
does.
We also realized talking to these neuroscientists that we all have 64,000 thoughts a day, and majority of them are called ants, automatic negative thoughts. They're the reptilian part of your brain to protect you, to keep you safe.
Mhm.
So if you walked out of a cave, a dinosaur wouldn't eat you.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, these ants are there to protect us, so we have to do something more special. And I call it get an ape. Automatic positive experience. What does that mean? I've got a song by Billy Joel. So when I'm driving down the road and all of a
Okay,
sudden
okay.
someone cuts me off,
Uh-huh.
my ant will stink in.
uh-huh.
It's going to go, you son of a gun,
Yeah.
in the middle of the night.
Okay,
Right?
okay,
And
I
it
like
took me
that.
years to train me.
Yes.
But what I
yes.
picture is a giant ape over an anthill,
Mhm.
just squashing them little
Squashing.
suckers as they come.
Okay.
But if you let those ants,
Mm.
64,000 of them, overtake you, it'll take down the biggest of primate.
Wow.
That is seriously probably one of the best advices we've ever had on this podcast. We've
Yes.
already had like 55 or 60 of these.
Thank you. Good night.
Right. You
Yeah,
know.
you're
You know.
Right.
Right. No. Yeah. I have something similar where, like, in my mind, I have like a black hole. So you could literally just, if you're thinking about something that is not supposed to be thought about, or you're getting angry, you just send it to that black hole, and it literally just
To the
disappears.
abyss.
To the abyss. And and it took me so long, probably maybe the last 2 years that I've barely been doing this. Before that, I would let those ants consume me, and now those ants are just thrown in the abyss. So,
Beautiful.
Yes, definitely.
Well, seriously, we appreciate you being here. Honestly, especially considering the fact that you're in Hollywood, drove out here for us. So thank you for that. And we're
Thank
actually
you
going to
so
be there
much.
at Secret Knock.
Wonderful.
So we expect
Yes.
to see
so
so much
blessed,
more out
so
there.
honored, so
And when you're
excited.
ready to do a book, I got you.
Oh my gosh.
I got you.
We have some ideas.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
that's what the best thing about these ghostwriters is that we don't have to be that smart.
Okay.
What we do is we sit down with them and they pull it and they go, you know how that would look good, and they craft
Oh
it.
my gosh.
I think we get into our own way and we sit there and think it's
mhm.
got to be perfect. We have to have these notes.
Right.
No, all you have to do is tell a story
Wow.
and they craft it in a way people would want to read it.
Wow.
And I'm a big, firm believer in parables. Here's the bottom line. I love you guys, but no one wants to hear your story.
Right.
They don't want to hear my story.
Mm-hmm.
But if we can tell a story within a story, they'll pay attention. What does that mean? And I'm going to make this thing up. as I
Okay.
go.
Yes.
Let's go.
Someone goes to Starbucks and they're
Yes.
getting their, cafe latte
Uh-huh.
and say it's $7. And they go, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot on my wallet. And says, oh my gosh, we'll take Apple Pay. And says, no, my bag's in my thing. I forgot at the gym. A voice in the corner says, don't worry, I got that. Says, what? Says, put on my tab. Gets his latte, walks over, and the guy sitting in the corner puts down his laptop, takes his foot like a country western, slides a chair out, says, have a seat. So what's going on? He says, well, I'm sitting on this challenge right now. And he says, what is it? And he says, well, have a seat. And this guy named Mike goes, I feel like I'm stuck because I have all this wisdom. I've got all this knowledge, but I don't have the success that I should have. And it's driving me crazy because I'm not implementing enough. And he says, I got your answer. He says, what is it? Well, Thursday at 2:00, I'm going to meet you at this restaurant. All you got to do is bring 2 empty lobster shells and a baseball helmet. Guy says, what? Sure enough, the next day he puts it on the table, goes, why'd you make me do that? And says, well, as an entrepreneur, if you're not going to be uncomfortable, chances are everything I teach you from here on out, you're not going to apply. And then all of a sudden, the wisdom from this mentor is passed on to this person. And this is
Wow.
where your information is instilled to this guy.
Mhm.
And as we see this person progress at the end of the
Mm.
book, he becomes a juggernaut of success, so much so
Mhm.
that the local Beverly Hills station says, we want to put you on the morning news. And he's all excited. So he goes to the grocery store to get some mint so he has good breath. As he's sitting there walking out, all of a sudden hears, I'm sorry, lady, your card's declined. Looks behind him and it's a woman and 2 kids. And the mom says, I'm sorry, kids, we got to put this back. And the guy, the new mentor with all the success, turns around and passes it forward and says, don't worry, I got that.
Wow.
Okay, I just
And
made that up.
You just
Yeah,
made that
Right.
up.
But that is a story
but
within the
my
story.
God.
And that's what people want to read.
Yeah, I
The
see
story within the story. Oh my God.
Okay.
Wow. Thank you.
So
Thank you
basically,
so
no more
much.
talking about you or me.
Right.
But I got
Wow.
it. I get
And
the
we've
idea.
been ready, so maybe we need to meet up with you.
There it is. So it's with 'em. What's in it for me? That's what the audience wants to know. Okay, I'm going to end with this last thing, and I got to get it going here.
Loves
Okay,
it.
here's one of my greatest feedbacks that you could ever take and apply into your life. CPC. It's an acronym that stands for clues, C. Patterns, P. Choices, C. It's about accountability and responsibility for everything that happens. It is your fault. Stop blaming other people. Let me ask you, have you ever gone on a first date and the woman's absolutely amazing? She's 20 minutes late. Now, anything could have happened, but there's a little red flag. That's called the C. It's a clue. But you like her, so you continue to date her. Every single time you pick her up, she's 20 minutes late. That forms a P, which is a pattern. Now, it's your C, your choice, how you deal with it. Do you break up? You yell at her? You tell her a different time so she is on time? But it's not her fault. She's just late. We have to stop trying to change people to fit into your own paradigm box. No one wants to be changed. But how many times have we seen someone with a bad reputation in business? They cheat your best friend. You do business, things go wrong, you're mad at the person. You saw the clue, you saw the pattern, you made the choice. It'd be like seeing a rattlesnake rattle, bite your kid's sister, you pet it, get bitten, you're mad at the snake. Looking back in life, rarely will we be angry at relationships that failed or negotiations that fell through. We're mad at ourselves because we saw the clues, we followed the patterns, but we made our choices late.
Wow.
Powerful
That was
information.
amazing. That was amazing. So much
Wow.
golden nuggets in just 30 minutes. Usually it's like an hour and 30, and just this 30 minutes, I've learned so many things. Like my mind is blown right now. Thank you so much, Mr. Greg. That was
Greg.
so amazing.
gotcha.
Oh my God. You gave us secrets for sure.
And guys, if you guys want to follow him on Greg Reid. That's his Instagram information. Is there any other websites or anywhere anybody can find you at?
You can go to secretknock.co, secretknock.co. We left the M off so no one could find us yet. They still did.
Wow. Oh my God. This
Perfect.
is so amazing.
Well,
Thank
guys,
you.
stay tuned for these reels and the podcast. Seriously, appreciate you guys watching it.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Greg. Appreciate you. Thank you.